Hey, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. How you doing? Guess what? Today we're going to be talking about how to leverage LinkedIn, some of the things that I've learned over the years of how to use LinkedIn for your branding and business development goals. Good morning to you, Edwin Dearborn, Growth Driven. Boy, do I love LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a branding and business development powerhouse if you are willing to put in the work and the time. I ask my clients and my partners and prospects, how long do you think it takes to build a brand? And when I mean build a brand, I mean a brand that is trusted, it is looked up to, it is referred, it shows up in search, it has followers, it has engagement, and most importantly, it's making money. Consistent, viable amounts of money. And when you describe building a brand in those parameters, common answer is, I guess it takes 4 or 5 years. That's minimum. How long did it take Nordstrom to build their brand? How long did it take In-N-Out Burger to build their brand? How long did it take Gary Vee to build his brand to where it is now? He started with Google Ads and social media and email, back in the late 90s. It takes years, maybe even decades, depending on your industry, to build a high net worth viable brand. So how does LinkedIn play into this? Well, let's just take a look at some facts about LinkedIn. And my numbers may not be exact, but they're darn close. There's over 700 million professionals on LinkedIn. It's growing by the day. It is a search engine. Yes, it's social media, but it has a search engine capability, particularly when you unlock Sales Navigator. Wow. For $79 a month, I have Sales Navigator. I mean, it is an explosive search engine to help me find exactly the people that I want to connect to. And that's key here. I'm not just getting more followers. I'm connecting strategically with the people that I want to. And that for me, that's CMOs, CEOs, decision makers. And I want you to get that. Not only can I reach decision makers directly, I don't have to go through the secretary. I don't have to worry whether or not they open up my email or they open up my package. I can go directly to the decision maker in that messaging system. That's powerful. That's where you can actually reach honest to God decision makers. But just because you've connected with them doesn't mean anything. Now is where you have, this is the starting point to build your brand. And now it takes consistency. And that consistency, it really comes down to just a few things. But again, you have to do them consistent. I think consistency is one of the unsung heroes of branding. People think it's fancy logos and taglines. I get texts all the, hey, what do you think about this tagline? What do you think about this logo? I go, it doesn't matter if you're inconsistent and you're not in front of people adding massive value. No one's paying attention to your logo. No one's paying attention to your tagline. No one's paying attention to your unique selling proposition unless you are offering massive value on a consistent basis. And when I say consistent, I'm talking years. I started a partnership with a bookkeeping company last year. I think we've been in the partnership now for about a year. And I told her, I said, it's going to take us 3 to 5 years to build your brand. And when I say build your brand, we're going to 10x your statistics. We're going to be highly viable, highly profitable, highly efficient, well-known in the industry. And we just may be one of the top 500 bookkeeping companies in the United States. That's my big 10x goal. but it's going to take us 3 to 5 years to get there of hard work every day. Like, okay, our main platform was LinkedIn. And what did we do? We came up with creative content and we started posting and engaging. And we've gone from 500 connections to over 7,000 connections on LinkedIn. And we are now adding our team members on the LinkedIn. And get this, our brand will be connected within a year or two to 30,000 professionals on LinkedIn, specific people that we selected, business owners, decision makers. And what are we doing? 3-4 times a day, we are using technology to automate the posting of our posts. So that's the first thing. And you have to find your voice, your creative voice when it comes to posting content, because that is where the branding game is won. Is putting out the really good content. And what I mean by content, it could be an article on LinkedIn. It could just be a few sentences. I've had posts on LinkedIn that are just a few sentences, pithy, knowledgeable observations, my viewpoints, and I've had them viewed by thousands of people within a day. I had one post last week get viewed by almost 1,800 people within 24 hours. I don't get that on Facebook. I don't get that on Instagram. And here's the big bonus. People on LinkedIn are there to talk about business, and they're the most highly qualified individuals on any social media. We're not talking about what you ate. We're not talking about your cat video. We're not talking about, you're upset with the 2 political parties in America, if you're in America. We're talking about business. We're talking about business with qualified decision makers. And when you can put out really good content, whether it's an ebook, whether it's a video, a podcast, pick your flavor. And if you can't put out the content, then hire somebody that will put out the content. I work with a med tech company, and we've hired people like they're the face, they're the voice of the brand. That's their job. Their job is to be the face and the voice. It's not the CEO doing it. It's not the COO doing it. It's not me doing it. We hired people to go, hey, you're good looking, you're articulate, you know how to write, you have the skill sets. And your job is to put our brand through educational content, through knowledge, through information, insights, interviews, statistics, memes, infographics, over and over and over and over in front of these people. Moreover, get this. I want you to get this. LinkedIn, the majority of people, these decision makers, are giving you their contact information willingly because they have to post it. Their phone number, their Twitter, if they're on Twitter, their email address, which to me is the most valuable thing. And you can now have a call center, take all those phone numbers, and you can call them. You can take their email and email them. You can retarget them on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Google display ads. So now I know when my Google display ads go, it's going to those 30,000 decision makers. It's not just going to anybody. The only people that are seeing my ads on retargeting or in my emails are the specific individuals that I have premeditated, selected to influence my brand in their mind. Now, I don't know how you can do that with any other social media as effectively. Now, look, if you're a model, Instagram's your place. If you're a young person and you're a rapper, TikTok is your place. I'm 57 years old and I'm not a rapper. I don't even look like a rapper. I wish I could rap. It'd be a great skill set, but I can't rap. I am not an Instagram model. I am a businessman that wants to build long-term, highly viable, highly profitable, highly efficient brands. That's my place in the world. So the social media for me is LinkedIn. And that's, if you're really serious as a businessman, you're going to take your LinkedIn game to a whole new level. And if you don't, or are not willing to take LinkedIn to a whole new level, then you're just not serious about business. Because that's how the world, even particularly, especially after all the lockdowns, social media became an absolute must. It was no longer a luxury. Zoom was no longer a luxury. Social media, putting out content right here. This is my office, my home office here in Henderson, Nevada. I turned my home into a content marketing studio because that's where the world went. So instead of I adjusted and I put on the turbocharge afterburners to make the content that will make the connection. Without the contextual content, let me say that again, without the contextual content, meaning content that fits their mindset, their ethos, their strategies, their desires, their hopes, their industry, the things that they're thinking and feeling and doing. And if I can put out more and more of that content through LinkedIn consistently, guess what happens? When I make that phone call or I send that email, I've heard of you. I called an individual last night. He made a comment on one of my posts, and I happened to have his phone number, and I called him literally within 10 seconds after he made the post because I took the contact data from LinkedIn. Guess what? In about a couple of weeks, we'll probably be doing business together. That's what social media is about. It's about your opportunity to build an actual trusted relationship that will turn into an actual paying client or partner. But you gotta put in the work because trust is earned. It's not purchased. And trust is earned through perseverance and persistence and consistency and shining above all others with your skill sets. And if you don't have those skill sets, then team up with people that do or hire them, but figure it out if you're serious about business. And if you don't figure it out and you're sitting there mumbling and complaining and strategizing and planning with no activity, well, that's all self-induced. Your poverty at that point is self-induced. I will agree with Grant Cardone on this point wholeheartedly. This is the easiest time in the history of mankind to become super wealthy. Get that? We are in a moment where it is the easiest to become a millionaire. The technology's there. The systems are there. The people are there. It's not like a lack of audience. There's not a lack of money, and they keep printing it. I think we just put 25% of all known money printed in the history of the human race into circulation over the last 12 months. So it's not a lack of money. And it's not a lack of people. The population keeps exploding, even during the, supposed, everybody's going to die moment. So the population's growing, the money in circulation is growing, the opportunities growing, technology is becoming more efficient and faster. We're becoming more connected. So when are you coming to the party and getting serious about your brand? That's the real question. To all the people that are my age saying, well, I didn't grow up with social media. Either did I. I'm 57. I adapted. I learned. I turned off the television. I stopped watching, I never watched Game of Thrones. I was busy building my throne. That was my game. Get rid of the TV, start delving into YouTube, read books, connect with educated, knowledgeable, ambitious, 10x minded individuals who are serious and have a work ethic like no other. When you do that, then LinkedIn makes sense. But until then, it's just this app that's annoying to you because it sends you invitations from people you don't know. And that's how most people look at LinkedIn, unfortunately. So if you are ready to work like I work with a long-term vision and willing to do the hustle 10, 12 hours a day and put a team together and be strategic, well, come on by. But if you're just going to talk and talk and talk and talk and never pull the trigger and never do and never commit to systems, I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy. So hopefully, maybe this edition of Growth Driven has shifted your view on this. But I can tell you right now, the amount of opportunities that are coming my way because of how I have leveraged LinkedIn and content and email as a combined system has forever changed my fortunes. And I know it will for you too. You guys have a great day. Be well, do well, flourish and prosper, and we'll see you next time.